Welcome back everybody to another episode of Build and Drive. Today we're going to be putting the head back on the block. So in the last episode, we completed all of the cylinder head parts. We put the new valve stem seals on, did a valve job on everything, and put it all back together. Everything's nice and clean and ready to go to put the head gasket and cylinder head back on. This cylinder head weighs like 100 and something pounds. It's extremely heavy. So I got the crane out and we are going to use the crane to set this thing up nice so that we don't avoid pinching the head gasket or messing anything up with the timing chain. What happens is you can break these timing chain guides really easily. They are made of plastic and we don't want to do that. So get a helper, get a crane, and yeah, let's put this thing on. So what I'm gonna do is, because the crane can fit only like this between the engine stand, I'm gonna flip this around, grab it with the crane so that we can slot it on this way. You also need to be aware of the valves. There will be, if you have this set at top dead center, your cylinder 2 valves will be open at that time. To set it to top dead center, you want the QR codes on the cams facing upward. And also, we're gonna have to do this later, but you want the flywheel connected to your block, and you want to put in the timing key, whatever you want to call it, to lock the block in place so that you know it's at top dead center. The flywheel has a little hole, as you can see there, for where that slots in, so that you can lock the block in place and nothing moves and you can time the engine properly. I've already made myself these 2 marks on the flywheel, just so I know that more or less it's roughly at top dead center right now, but we'll have to take the engine off once the head's back on and kind of put it on a pallet and put the flywheel back on to time it properly. Exactly. So just things to be aware of. So what I've done to try and lift this up is attach it to the normal engine lift mount. I've just attached it to the bracket on the back there. I know that's not the safest, but it works. And then I've also just put it wrapped so that it evens it out. And I'm sure that we'll be able to now lift this thing on to the head. So here's the head gasket. I'm using a Victor Ryan's head gasket. There's the part number, B25. It's a multi-layered head gasket, as you can see there. It looks good. wasn't that hard, but you just have to really kind of line up that dowel. With the crane, it was quite easy, and line up the dowel that was over here, and the head just kind of slotted in. I had cleaned up the head and the block beforehand. So the nerve-wracking part is done. I'm just going to have to now very, very carefully torque this down. There is a very specific sequence, and I'm gonna go print that out right now. I took a look at it this morning. I have it on my desktop, and then we'll get to torquing down the head right now. So we're ready to put the cylinder bolts on. I got some new head bolts. This is the part number that I got. They're just Victor Rein's head bolts. You should always double check the website to see which ones you need. These don't go just anywhere. There are some longer ones and shorter ones, and I'll explain that in a second. So as you can see here, there's 10 bolts that are uniform. They are the cylinder head bolts. These ones are M10 by 125, and then we have one M9 by 95 and 3 M9 by 125. So they all go, these go in, of course, a specific place compared to those, and let's get into that right now. Also, you can reuse the head bolt spacers or the washers. Remember that for the 4 M9 bolts, you'll use the smaller washer. These are actually a different size, as you can see there. So don't forget about that. I'm gonna just clean these up, and let's get started. So starting in the middle, going from 1 to 10, we're going to use the M10 bolts, and then on the edges, 11, 12, 13, and 14, we're going to use the other bolts. So I just finished putting all the bolts and the washers in. This one here, the washer is a little challenging to get at, but if you just put the washer on the end of your magnet, you can stick it in there and then twist it, and it falls right into place. It won't go in through the top. And the smallest bolt is right here in position number 14, I believe it is, in the last, on the exhaust camshaft. I thought it was number 11, I thought it was number 12 or whatever. It's on the end here on the back of the motor. So now the first sequence of this is to torque this down to 30 Newton meters, all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the impact to just get them all situated. Oh yeah, also right here you have to remove this little Valvetronic motor oil lubricator thingy tip. So what now I'm going to do is cinch this all down very lightly with the impact. Well, not the impact, just my Makita gun, and then I'm going to torque everything to 30 Newton meters with the torque wrench. And the next sequence is you have to torque all bolts to 30 Newton meters, all bolts 90 degrees, and then bolts 1 to 10, so not the smaller ones, not the M9s, 90 degrees. And then it says again, all bolts to 45 degrees. Really? So 30 Newton meters, all bolts, torque them 90 degrees. Only bolts 1 to 10, torque them 90 degrees more. And then all bolts, again, another 45 degrees. I think that's right. I'm also going to just double check this on YouTube and see if this is correct. So this is where you guys are going to need some new tools. If you remember when we were taking this thing apart, it's very hard to get at these two head bolts just because of where they're located. A 1/2 inch extension and stuff doesn't really fit in here, so you have to use the 3/8. So I ordered a T50 Torx, and also I ordered an adapter just in case this Torx broke or something like that. And this will be very helpful in getting in here. Hopefully it does fit. Yeah, see, it just fits. So you put an extension on this and you can reach that head bolt now. And here we go. We have our 3/8 extension. Wow, that's so much easier than last time. See, but here it doesn't fit. How did I do this last time? I'm gonna have to think about this. So luckily, I think this T50 with the socket fits. Look at that. That's so lucky. So the difference between this and this is that this is one piece and this one, it comes apart. You can put any bit in there. So it's a bit, well, this is a 5/16 bit holder, and it has a smaller footprint than this socket. This is one piece. So I'm glad I got that with a 3/8 extension. It worked really well. So I'm all set up. Have my, I believe it's a T60, T55. Is that not a T60 or a T55? It's T60. I grabbed the T55. The T60 Torx. That's good we didn't screw that up and strip one of our new bolts. T60 Torx on my torque wrench. I put it to 30 Newton meters, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe the torque sequences, yep. So let's get to that. Ready? Head bolts are all torqued down. I'd suggest you put the engine up against something, because when you're torquing on it, you know, the engine does turn. So now that the head bolts are all torqued down, what we're gonna do is start to put together the timing gears again. The first thing we need to do is put back our Valvetronic oiler thing. Then put in our stopper that was back here. You just rotate this forward, and then you have to screw the stopper, the eccentric shaft stopper, back in. We're gonna put the little magnet that goes here, it screws in, and then we're gonna put the eccentric shaft sensor, and then the timing guide. Screw in the timing guide. What would you call it? Timing guide. It's not a bearing, just thing that holds it in place. And then we'll put the timing gears back in, and maybe I'll take this off the stand so that I can get the timing key in there. Even though I think this is on TDC right now, you know, I want to be 100% sure. It's better to be 100% sure than not. So maybe we'll put the flywheel back on, put the key in, and then put all our timing stuff back on. So I'm not going to talk as much. Let's just put a time lapse on and get into it. So I also forgot to mention there are these 4 aluminum screws that go in the front of the head here. One, 2. Where's the third one? 1, 2, 3 down here. Is that silly one that's behind the underneath the timing chain cover? There's one more. Where is it? Oh yeah, it's over here. I think it's this one. 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it says to tighten to 15 Newton meters. And then I'm going to actually blow these holes out. Some air. Can't reach that one. 1, 2. I'm going to assume 3. Is that the right one? Maybe not. No, it has to be. This one must go down in there, and I have a trick for that. I ordered parts. So, and I actually kind of screwed up. I don't have the correct tool that I wanted to buy. I'll explain to you what I was thinking. I bought a 3/8 extension with a 3/8 kind of wobbly thing, and then I should have bought a 3/8 E12 socket so that I can get in there and tighten it down. So now I'll have to use the bigger socket again, which kind of defeats the purpose, but we'll try. These are a E12 socket. I don't think there is a specific torque sequence, so I think what we're going to try and do is this. This is the wobbly bit. This is a step down to a 1/4 inch. And then I have an E10 socket to which this fits. So we're going to try that. I'm going to try and get this in the hole there using something. So I got my long needle nose pliers here. Let's pray I don't drop this. And just angle it right. Kind of in there. How did I get this to move more? I remember getting it. Whatever. Sorry guys, gonna move you. So it says 15 Newton meters and then a 90-degree rotation. So I'm just going to snug these up. I don't think it's that important, in my opinion. Let's use the 3/8, I guess. So again, this is my little trick. I don't have the right tool for this. I can't get this in here with a socket and stuff like that. So what I do have is a T40 bit, a Torx bit with an 8mm. You put that on the end of a screwdriver, and then you can put this on the end of that, and that goes together. Clever. Drop a like if that is helpful. All right, next we're gonna put on this, this piece snaps into that piece. I think it goes like that. So in here, You have to snap that piece back in. You see that how those have little holes there, and then there's little tabs there. You have to snap that back in, and then we can screw it together. I'm gonna go get my headlamp so I can actually see what I'm doing. And of course, I'm an idiot. I've snapped it back together without the chain being in the right space, so let's take that off. Is that supposed to move like that? I'm assuming it is. Because it moves like that here, so... Yeah. So next I'm gonna put in the Vano seals, I think. These are the Vanos solenoids. They look a bit dirty. So I'm just gonna clean them up with some brake clean and wipe them down. You should replace the seals, but these seals feel okay. They're nice and rubbery seals, so I'm just gonna reuse them. So it doesn't matter which way you place these. They're interchangeable. So they go on like that. This one goes in like that. Well, someone's replaced these at some point because there's a different bolt here. But I guess it doesn't matter. So make sure that the chain goes around these two Vano solenoids. This is a 10 mil. I almost forgot, you gotta put this thing back on too. Now that those are on, I think we're ready to put this together. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. In the next video, we're going to be timing the engine. I'm going to show you the timing procedure. A lot of YouTube videos don't fully explain everything. It's a little confusing. So I'm actually going to show you step by step exactly what I did. And I had to do this like 3 times, but how to time the engine. You're going to need one of these timing kits for your engine. Make sure you go find the right one. We're going to lock the cams in place. We're going to set the flywheel at TDC and make sure that that is correct so that the bottom of the engine and the top of the engine are right. You're going to want to put your camshafts with the QR codes facing up, and then we're going to install the timing gears and sprockets and all that. So if this was helpful for you guys, please consider dropping a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on social media for updates on how the build is going. So hope to see you guys in the next video.